Hi everyone, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, time for Stamping with Denise. I am so glad you're here. Okay, just checking my settings. We're good there. Okay, well let's go on. So I'm so glad to see you tonight. I hope you had a wonderful week last week and a great weekend and a nice beginning to this week. If you're new here, welcome. I ask that if you like my videos, please share my video, comment, share down in the comments, and you will be entered to win the card I work on tonight. So I might be sending it out to you. Last week I showed you how to make this, what was it called? A fault line card. And I think it is really a cool technique, and I know I'm going to be doing it again, and I'm probably going to do it in a class soon because it's pretty popular, and I just think it's unique. There's so many possibilities. But because she shared my video, she commented, shared, and her name was chosen, this card's going out to B. Williams. So B, I will get this card out to you within the next day or two. Thank you so much for sharing your love of stamping with other people. If you're watching me on YouTube, welcome. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, and once you do that, click that little blue bell and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, which is most every Monday night. Okay, what's new in Stampin' Up world? Well, we're about halfway through their BOGO, where you can buy one suite and get a second suite free, or not free, excuse me, for half price. There's a little caveat I guess you need to know about, is that say you order a suite and it's $70, then you go and order some designer series paper and maybe it comes from a different suite, your half price item is going to be the lower priced item. So the best way to take advantage of this sale is to order 2 suites, and you'll already hit and that be the only thing in your order, unless there's things you want that you're sure are not in a suite, because if they're in a suite, they're going to be the half price item. So just helping you navigate that little idiosyncrasy. Okay, I don't think I have anything else to say before we get started. I've got a super simple fun fold to show you, and I think you're going to like it. So I'm going to change to the view of my hands and we'll get started. Okay, hey everybody. Before we get into the card, I wanted to show you the designer series paper I'm using. I'm using this beautiful Gallery 6x6 designer series paper. Gotta be honest, it's not my style for the most part. Although I do like these really great images. The back sides are nice too. So, hold on here. I'm just showing you the paper. They have these beautiful scenes, or they have these very large focal images. That'd be a great piece to use on a travel scrapbook page. So I just think these are gorgeous. I kind of like this one with the old-fashioned. To me, it reminds me of like a seed pack or an old-fashioned bar soap where they had this gorgeous writing on it. But again, you know, I've told you guys sometimes I struggle with these papers that have a scene on them. I don't always know how to use them, but we're going to be using one today. So I wanted to share that with you. It's the beautiful Gallery 6x6 designer series paper. So there's 48 sheets in the pack, and the colors are for the most part, neutral. So many of them make great masculine cards, and that's what I'm making today. So basic beige, basic black, basic gray, Calypso Coral, Cloud Cover, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, Peach Pie, Secret Sea, and Smoky Slate. So I just wanted to show you that because I hadn't featured that set before, or that designer series paper. So here's the card we're going to make today. It's called a flip up fold, okay? And as you can see, I used one of the pieces of paper, and it really does, the paper does all the work. This is one of those cards where the paper does the work. Now you could do this card style with just a paper that's got a, hold on, let me show you, a pattern on it like that. But you might want some kind of focal, you know, point for your card. But like I said, this paper, this sketch on here just does all the work, and it's really easy. So this card, my base is basic beige. The front part of this card is black and basic beige and black. Super simple. And this does not take any special tools. The only thing you have to have is a trimmer, okay? So I decided for the card I'm going to make with you, I'm going to use this piece of paper because it's got a little bit of color in it. Okay. So I think we'll get started. And this is our base. This is 5.5 by 4 1/4. That's this back part right here. It's just a plain card. Nothing fancy about it. Plain piece of cardstock. Okay. We're going to start with our piece of cardstock, the one that does all the work, that makes the flap. Okay. This piece is, I'm just going to double check, 5 1/4, and I know you can't see my measurements here, by 8. So you do cut a little bit off. Now I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4.5. I don't always, no, at 4, not 4.5. I'm going to score this at 4. I want to make sure I get my measurements, because this is 8 long, so we want to fold this in half. Sometimes I have a hard time with scoring because I get it crooked, and I don't know how I get it crooked, but sometimes my scores are a little crooked. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to burnish this down really, really, really well. Now I'm going to show you how to make this mechanism using this card, or using it like this. Sorry, I got distracted. I was getting a message on my screen up here. But then I'm going to tell you another way you can do it. So what we've done here is we've made a cut in the black piece, which is equal to the basic beige on this card, and we've cut 1/2 on each side, 1 inch on each side up to the fold, okay, to the score line. So this is where I really love our Stampin' Up trimmer. So here's the 1 inch mark, okay? And I'm going to bring my blade down, but I can I can see through my guide here. My score is right here where my thumb is. You can see it pretty well on this card, on this cardstock. You wouldn't have been able to see it on the black. And so what I'm going to do, and sorry if I get my head in the camera, but I'm just going to take my blade all the way up to the 4 inch mark. I'm going to look and see how I did. I want to go just a little bit farther. I knew I probably did have to go further. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. I'm going to do it on this side. Same way. Except we'll go from this side. So you are cutting just on what is going to be the front part of your card. Okay. But if you want to make sure you got all the way to the line, don't take your paper out till you make sure you're cut and it looks perfect. So there we go. There's that. And there's the front of the card. Or the mechanism piece. And while we're here, I'm going to show you, we're going to go ahead and adhere these down. I don't know, I kind of like doing it this way better, but there is another way you can do it. Let me adhere this down and then I will tell you. So the other way you could get this, do this card is by taking a piece of this, say basic beige, where's my ruler here, and just cutting a piece of cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4. Then you take another piece that's in the same color and you cut a piece that's 3 1/4 by 5. Let me see, let me go look at my other, yes, by 5. And then that piece, oops, let me get it up here and back in the, by 5. Then you're going to make a score in that piece at 1 inch. You're going to burnish it, and that is going to be your flap. You'll glue it to the back of the basic beige piece, if that makes sense. I like this better because I know it's going to all line up right because it all came from the same piece of paper. But it's one way you can do it. You can do it either way. So just wanted to share that with you. If you were maybe short, for some reason you didn't have quite enough to do the card you wanted to do, it is an alternative. I like it, again, this way better because then I don't have to worry about my flap not fitting in here. Then you got to make sure your cuts are just right. I just think this is easier. Okay, now let's get down to the part that does the heavy duty lifting. This piece of designer series paper. Again, not my style, but it's kind of growing on me. And that's usually what happens. I don't think I'm going to like something that Stampin' Up puts out. Then it kind of starts growing on me. Who else has that? Raise your hand. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the main focal point on the center panel. So to me, this is the main part. Then you want to figure out how far down and how far up you want to go. You can make a template. There's lots of ways you can do it. The designer series paper, this is going to be cut to 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Gosh, I'm mixing up the numbers tonight. This DSP will be cut 5 1/8 this way by 3 7/8 that way, okay? So I didn't make a template or anything like that. And at least from here to here, I think that's the way I want the paper center, I don't think I want any more sky because that would cut me here and here. It kind of balances, although I think it's better to have your image a little, not quite center, but a little down from below. So maybe I'll take a little bit off of the bottom first. I'm just going to take, let's see, maybe about 1/4 of an inch off of the bottom here. I think I'll do that. And then, so I know that this measurement is going to be, whoops, I don't have to move it. Yes, I do. 3 7/8. So it's 3 1/2, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 3/4, 3 7/8. So I'm going to cut this here. Okay. Now for this particular piece of paper, you now have a nice extra piece you could use. You could use that too. So I like that. Throw that over here. Okay, now you have to figure out this dimension. Again, this is probably a little bit easier than some. And I'm going to make sure, yep, I did that just right. Perfect. Okay, now this one, I think I'm going to leave it, well, let's see, do I want it all the way over here so it's going to cut it off here? Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna just cut off on this side over here, I think. So this measurement is 5 1/8, which is right here. 1/2, 1/4, 1/8. No, you know what? I'm gonna cut just a little bit off of each side. Then I'm gonna cut, again, 1/4 inch off of that side. 5, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8. There we go. Whether I like it or not, that it is what it is. So does this fit in here dry? I just want to dry fit it and make sure it's perfect, and it is. Yay. So now I'm going to cut 1 inch off on either side. Okay? So make sure you're cutting it from either side, because this one's going to go here. And not just 2 pieces next to each other, because that'll mess up your picture. And that's exactly what I just did, folks. Okay. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to get another piece and start over. See, that's what happens when I talk too much and I can't pay attention to I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. It's only paper. There we go. Okay, and if I recall, I think I took about 1/8 inch off the bottom. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on cutting so that I don't screw up again. This is 3 7/8. There's 1/2, 3/4, and 7/8. Okay. Make sure that way I'm tracking good. Okay, now what did I do? I think I took about 1/8 inch off of this side here. I do love the Stampin' trimmer because it's got some measurements on the left side or the other side of the scoring line, cutting line, and it makes it so easy. And this measurement is 5 1/8. 5 1/8. Okay, we're gonna cut that off. Okay, now we're back to where we were. Now I'm gonna cut 1 inch off of here. And so that I don't make a mistake. You know what? I don't think I messed it up. I did it right. Oh well, I guess I'll be making a second one of these. Whatever. Like I said, I get to talk and then I'm not paying attention in my head. Okay, we gotta take 1 inch off of this. Y'all were probably yelling at me, no, you did it right, you did it right. Whatever. See, we all make mistakes. It's only paper. And yes, it is only paper. I know people who are so worried about wasting. But you know what? It's only paper. There is more usually where it came from. Now, I understand how many people have special fancy designer series paper they're saving for just the right occasion. Me, I do. But, so I understand that if maybe you have the put this down just a little bit. Here we go. If you only have one piece of that special paper, I get it, then it's important. But most of the time, there's other paper. So I guess I'm going to go back and make another one of these since I've already got the paper cut for it. It's okay, because I never have enough masculine cards. There we go. We're going to put this right in here. Yay! So really, I like this card because it's different. It looks different. You do not have to have any special tools, okay? The only thing you really need is a trimmer. And there we go. Now, on this card, because of the black inside, I put a piece of basic beige on the inside. And this is 3 by 3 7/8. Okay, but this one I don't need to since it's light enough to mark on. Okay, so now we're going to do the sentiment. You know, this has kind of been my go-to for a lot of sentiments over the last year since it came out, the Unbounded Love. I'm going to do a Just For You. I employed 2 punches. The 1 3/4 is still available. I'm using a 1 1/2. It's not available anymore, but if you've got circle dies, you know what, if you don't have dies or punches, make them squares. You don't need any special tools for a square. There you go. Okay, so you know what, I used black on this, but I think I want to use Pecan Pie because that's the color this piece is. Hold on here, let me get my Pecan Pie out. Here we go. I like that better. That'll match. The black, this is Memento Black here, but I'm going to use the Pecan Pie for this card. Let me see, make sure there's no stamp off. There's a little, I just was making sure there wasn't a lot of black ink left on it. There we go. So I'm going to punch this out with the 1 1/2. Sometimes punches are a lot quicker than dies, and they're nice. So that's why I keep my circle punches. I kind of learned my lesson when I got rid of some circle punches, and I wished I hadn't. Okay. And I really like these, the style of punch. That was Misty Moonlight that I punched that circle out of, that Stampin' Up makes, because you can lock them down flat. See, it's like that. But if you turn it over and slide this lock, now it's nice and flat, and they're easy to store. They're easy to stack. You know, take with you places. There were old style punches that were not very, I don't know what you call it, or they weren't very easy to pack and stack and carry because they were curvy. So normally I would have put it down here, but I don't want to mess my scene up. I could put on either, so that's why on this one, see, I didn't want to cover up stuff, so I put it up here. And I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and put it right up there too. The other thing, if you want to add a little extra, if you want to, you could emboss your sentiment. Now you noticed what I did is I laid my sentiment on there and kind of figured out where the halfway is, because you don't want to put glue on the whole back. You only want to put it on the half, because otherwise it's going to stick down to the outside part. Okay, so, and I just kind of mark with my finger so that I know. I'm gently laying it on there. I don't have any glue adhesive showing through, so I'm going to put it down. And you know what? I'm going to call it good. If you want, you could put a bow. Well, let's see, what do I have? What do I have? What embellishment could I put on that? I had some, hold on. Oh, hold on. I've got my last chance items in a different place, and I think that's where I'm looking for is. No, I'm not finding what I'm looking for, so maybe what I was thinking of is retired already. So I'm going to just leave it as it is, you guys. So you can tell me, which one of these cards do you like better? Do you like the brown one or the black one? So I want to thank you so much. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you next Monday night. Please share my video, comment, share it, and I might be sending this card out to you next week. Take care now, everybody. Bye.